Hello everyone, as here is another Victoria 2 tutorial, and this is one I wanted to talk about for a while. In this tutorial, I'm going to explain how the military units themselves work. Now, if you've played like EU4 for example, then this is going to be pretty similar. There are three main units in this game. There are infantry, cavalry, and artillery. And they work, if you play EU4, pretty much the same way. Infantry will be on the front line in a battle. They'll soak up all the damage and do all the fighting and dying. Cavalry will attack on the side and they will flank. So they'll attack from the sides. And then artillery, if they're in the back row, they will attack from the back row and deliver massive damage. So that's basically it. Now you see there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 unit types in total in vanilla. So I'm going to have to explain them all now, what they all are and how better they are compared to other. So we'll first start off with infantry. There are three types of infantry. They are irregulars, infantry, and guards. So irregulars. Irregulars are the very first unit any country could build in the game. Uncivilized can only build these at the start. Now, as you see, each unit has an attack and defense. The higher the number, the better they are. Discipline lowers the amount of organization they would lose in a battle, so the higher number, the better. Maneuverable means the troops will go faster across the province, so that's higher the better. And of course, max speed, same thing as well. And supply consumption means the more supply consumption, the more expensive they are. And of course, you see right here, like irregulars cost 16 sheep to build. So irregulars, like I said, uncivilized nations can only build these unless they get the tech needed to unlock infantry, which I'll get in a minute. But at all costs, do not keep these once you get infantry or guards. Replace them instantly because irregulars are awful. Just pure awful. Just get rid of them. They're that bad. Then you get infantry. Infantry you can unlock as an uncivilized country if you get flintlock rifles, which you unlocked if you go for flintlock, foreign weapons tech. Let me go load up Japan really quickly. I can show you. Here we go. If you go for imported weapons, you unlock flintlock rifles and allows you to build infantry. Alright, so anyways. Infantry, like I said, civilized, as soon as you unlock flintlock rifles, you can build them. They are, as you can see, much stronger than irregulars. They are normally 4 times stronger. That's why when you play as Japan, you want to get the flintlock rifles instant as soon as you can get your first reform. That way you can build infantry because they're 4 times stronger than irregulars, and you can easily destroy Korea and China from them alone. So as soon as you can, get these. And then there's finally guards. Guards, you need breech-loaded rifles. So this tech right here, which you can't get till 1850. Now, guards are, let me go get the thing up again because I'm screwing up. Here we go. Guards, as you see, are more towards offense, whereas infantry are more equal, but they're usually with unlocked tech. They usually become more defensive oriented. Now, and guards, you can only build guards in primary culture. So, for example, Japan, you can only build guards if they're Japanese soldiers around. You can't build them as anyone else. Now, that's good if you're playing Japan because you have a whole bunch of Japanese. So you could build a whole bunch of troops. But if you're, say, Austria, which is so massive demographic differences, you're not going to be able to build a lot of guards. Now, what's better? Guards or infantry? I've tried both, and I don't notice a difference. Guards, like I said, are more towards attack. Infantry are more towards defense, but they're more balanced. Whereas you see guards are massively towards attack. But since guards, you need to have primary culture to build them, you're probably better off sticking with infantry because you could just build more of them. Alright, so then we'll get to cavalry, as there are 5 cavalry types in the game. There's cavalry, dragoon, cuirassier, hussar, and airplanes. So anyways, start off with cavalry. Cavalry is the base cavalry unit. Like they're the cavalry equivalent to irregular. Now, they have a unique stat which only cavalry units can have, and that's called reconnaissance. And the higher the reconnaissance number, the quicker you can take over a province. Now, when you occupy a province, the more troops you have, the quicker it's taken over. But if you have recon, it'll take over much, much faster. So you want that number to be as high as possible. So get back to troops. But just like infantry, cavalry are awful. God awful. And you need to get rid of them as soon as you can replace them. So then the last 3, horse infantry, horse cavalry, they're all similar. So I'm going to stick with cuirassiers because they're the branch off. Cuirassiers you unlock by researching military staff system right here. And, it unlocks all of them, okay? But anyways, they, if I'm correct, as I take a look at the stats again as a reminder, yeah, they are, in terms of stats, the strongest horse cavalry unit in the game. They have the best attack and defense, I believe. But they do not have recon. So they're not going to get the recon efficiency to occupy territory quicker. So keep that in mind. But then there's Hussar and Dragoon. Now, they're both the same, but they balance towards different types of stats instead. Like, Hussars, for example, they're not as strong as Dragoons, but they have better recon. So, they'll take over provinces quicker than Dragoons, but Dragoons have the better stats, so they're better off fighting. So, it depends on what do you want. Do you want to take over provinces quicker? Then you want Hussars, but if you want to fight better, you want Dragoons. But if you focus on fighting more and don't care about recon at all, you want cuirassiers, as they're the best. And then finally, there's aerial planes for cavalry. You unlock them with aeronomics, and of course, you gotta get certain tech for them, which are right here in military science. You have to wait till near the end of the game, 1914. Now, aerial planes, they have not really good attack. They have very good defense, but they have support. Support, which means they are like artillery. The higher support, which means they provide massive damage if they attack in the back row. So you want to have a lot of aerial planes in the back row, because they're really good. And of course, they have the best recon in the game at 4, which means if you have a plane in a 30k stack, I'm not kidding when you say this, you can usually take over a province within a week. It's that quick, at least in my experience. You can take over a province super quickly. So, you want to replace any cavalry you have with aerial planes as soon as you can get your hands on them. Alright, and finally, there's infantry. There's 3 types of units for infantry. Cavalry. Artillery. I'm getting my shit all mixed up. Artillery, engineer, and armor. Or tanks, whatever you want to call them. But anyways, artillery. You unlock by bronze muzzle-loaded artillery. That lets you build artillery. So, you see, they don't have a lot of attack and defense. They have support, though, which goes up to 600% with all the tech. So if you have them in the back row with high support, they're going to be very, very powerful, and they're going to be really devastating. You need to have a balanced army with a lot of artillery, or you're going to take a lot of losses. And then there's engineer, which you unlock by muzzle-loaded rifles, which allows you to build engineers. They're more defensive, as you can see. They do provide some support, but the main focus for engineers is siege. With the siege modifier, it involves taking over provinces with forts on them, and if I remember correctly, because I'm not fully sure, I think it makes them more likely to take over a province quicker if there's forts on them. So, I'm not sure if they're necessarily needed, but I always build them just in case anyways. And then finally, there's armor, which are tanks, which you unlock by unlocking infiltration, which is right here in 1900, and you have to get the tech needed to unlock them as well. Alright, armor, very strong attack, very good defense, and they provide siege efficiency, which I thought they were better than engineers, but no, they're the same. But I would still say they're better than engineers because they have the same defense, but a shit ton of attack. Replace your engineers as soon as you can with these if you can build them. And that's how the troops work. So for infantry, you start off as irregulars if you're on Civ, unless you get infantry. Replace the irregulars with infantry or guards as soon as you can. And between them, I would probably say infantry is better because they're more balanced and you can build more of them since they're not have a primary culture requirement. For cavalry, build cavalry if you can at the start, but as soon as you unlock dragoons, cuirassiers, and hussars, replace them immediately with whatever you want. And then as soon as you unlock airplanes, replace whatever these with the planes. Then artillery. You want artillery throughout the game, but you want to have an engineer in your stack just in case. But as soon as you unlock armor, you want to replace the engineers with armor. So that's the ideal stack. The ideal stack would be 4 infantry or guard, 4 artillery, 1 armor, and 1 plane at the end of the game. I might go into more detail about army compositions later because it's very important, but those I was just focusing on the actual units themselves. So I hope you all enjoyed the tutorial and hope I explained it really well for you.